I, 35 man, find myself in a situation I never imagined I'd be in. My ex-wife, Janice, 33F, and I were together for 12 years, married for 7. We have a daughter, Sophia, 4F. The past 6 months have been a whirlwind of emotions, and I'm struggling to figure out what's best for everyone involved. Janice and I met during our sophomore year of college. I was a quiet, studious computer science major, while Janice was a vivacious art student who seemed to know everyone on campus. We were an unlikely pair, but somehow we just clicked. Our first date was at a small coffee shop near campus. I was so nervous I spilled my latte all over the table. Instead of being embarrassed, Janice laughed and helped me clean up. That's when I knew she was special. We dated throughout college and for a couple of years after graduation. Janice got a job at a local art gallery while I started working for a tech startup. We were young and in love, enjoying our lives together. We'd spend weekends exploring the city, trying new restaurants and hanging out with friends. Janice was always the life of the party, while I was content to watch her shine. After 5 years together, I proposed. It wasn't a grand gesture, just a quiet moment in our favorite park. Janice cried happy tears and said yes. We got married a year later in a small ceremony with close friends and family. The first few years of marriage were great. We both had good jobs, traveled when we could, and enjoyed building our life together. When we decided to try for a baby, we were both excited. Janice got pregnant quickly, and we were overjoyed. We spent months preparing the nursery, picking out names, and dreaming about our future as parents. But when Sophia was born, things started to change. Janice struggled with postpartum depression. At first it was subtle. She seemed less interested in Sophia, often leaving me to handle the nighttime feedings and diaper changes. I didn't mind at first, thinking Janice just needed time to adjust. But as weeks turned into months, things didn't improve. I tried my best to support Janice. I took on most of the childcare duties while also working full-time. It was exhausting, but I loved Sophia so much that I didn't mind the extra work. I encouraged Janice to talk to her doctor, to seek help, but she was resistant. As Sophia grew, Janice seemed to resent her more and more. She would often say things like, "I never wanted kids," or "I'm not cut out to be a mother." It broke my heart to hear her talk that way, especially when Sophia was old enough to understand. I tried to shield Sophia from Janice's comments, always reassuring her that mommy loved her, even if she didn't always show it. Despite the challenges, I thought we were working through it. After much persuasion, Janice started therapy and seemed to be doing better. She started spending more time with Sophia, even suggesting family outings to the park or zoo. I was hopeful that things were finally turning around. Then, about 6 months ago, everything fell apart. I came home from work on a Friday evening, excited for the weekend with my family. But when I walked in, the house was quiet. Too quiet. I called out for Janice and Sophia, but there was no response. Sophia's favorite stuffed animal was missing from the couch where she usually left it. That's when I noticed the note on the kitchen counter. "I can't do this anymore. I need to find myself. I'm sorry." Those words turned my world upside down. I frantically searched the house, hoping it was some kind of sick joke. But Janice's clothes were gone, along with Sophia's favorite toys and clothes. I called Janice's phone, but it went straight to voicemail. I called her friends, her family, but no one knew where she had gone. I was devastated. How could Janice just take Sophia and disappear? How could she abandon us like this? I filed a missing persons report, but the police said there wasn't much they could do since Janice was Sophia's mother and there was no custody agreement in place. The next few days were a blur. I barely slept, constantly checking my phone for any message from Janice. I took time off work, not knowing how to explain the situation to my colleagues. My parents came to stay with me, helping me cope with the shock and grief. After a week of silence, I finally received a text from Janice. "We're safe. Sophia's okay. I need time. Please don't try to find us." I was relieved to know Sophia was safe, but angry and confused about why Janice had done this. I begged her to bring Sophia home, but she stopped responding to my messages. For the next 3 months, I lived in a state of constant anxiety and grief. I missed Sophia terribly. Every night, I would sit in her room, holding her favorite stuffed animal, wondering where she was and if she was okay. I couldn't bear to put away her toys or clothes, hoping that any day she would come back home. I threw myself into work, taking on extra projects to keep my mind occupied. My friends tried to get me to go out, to take my mind off things, but I couldn't. How could I enjoy myself when my daughter was out there somewhere, probably wondering why her daddy wasn't with her? Then, out of the blue, Janice showed up at our door. She looked different. Her hair was cut short and she had lost weight. Sophia was with her, clutching her stuffed animal and looking confused. Janice said she had been traveling, finding herself, and now she wanted to come back home. She said she missed me and was ready to be a family again. I was in shock. Part of me wanted to grab Sophia and slam the door in Janice's face. Another part wanted to break down crying in relief. Instead, I calmly took Sophia from Janice's arms, hugging my daughter tightly and fighting back tears. I let Janice in to talk, but I couldn't stop the anger and hurt from boiling up inside me. Janice explained that she had been struggling with her identity and felt trapped in her role as a wife and mother. She said the time away had helped her realize what was truly important. She had been staying with an old college friend in another state, working part-time at a local gallery while she figured things out. I listened to her, but I couldn't shake the anger and hurt. I told her she couldn't just waltz back into our lives like nothing had happened. She had abandoned our daughter, left me to worry and grieve for months, and now expected everything to be okay. Janice begged for another chance. She said she would do anything to make it right. She wanted to see Sophia regularly, to be part of her life again. But I refused. I told her she had lost that right when she walked out on us. I couldn't trust her not to hurt Sophia again. Since then, Janice has been calling and texting nonstop. Her family has also reached out, saying I'm being too harsh and that Sophia needs her mother. But I can't forget how Janice left us. I can't forget the nights I spent wondering if my daughter was safe, the pain of not knowing if I'd ever see her again. Sophia asks about her mom sometimes, and it breaks my heart. I don't know how to explain to a 4-year-old why her mother left, why she can't see her now. I'm doing my best to give Sophia a stable, loving home, but I worry about the long-term effects of Janice's actions on our daughter. Am I the asshole for refusing to let Janice see Sophia? Am I denying my daughter a relationship with her mother? I'm torn between protecting Sophia and wondering if I'm letting my own hurt cloud my judgment. I love my daughter more than anything in this world, and I only want what's best for her. But right now, I'm not sure what that is. Update 1. Thank you all for your responses. I've read through every comment, and it's given me a lot to think about. I wanted to provide an update on the situation. After my post, I decided to meet with Janice in a neutral location to have a more in-depth conversation about everything. We met at the same coffee shop, where we had our first date all those years ago. It felt strange to be sitting across from her in a place that held so many happy memories, knowing how much had changed between us. I asked my sister to watch Sophia, not wanting to expose her to any potential conflict. During our talk, Janice opened up more about what led to her leaving. She said she had been feeling trapped and unfulfilled for a long time, even before Sophia was born. She admitted that she had never really wanted children, but went along with it because she thought it would make me happy. The postpartum depression hit her hard, and she felt like she was drowning in a life she never really wanted. Janice told me about her time away. She had been staying with Lily, an old college friend who now lived in Oregon. Lily had always been the free-spirited one in their friend group, the one who traveled the world and never settled down. Janice said being around Lily made her realize how much she missed her old self, the artist who dreamed of traveling and creating, not changing diapers and planning playdates. She worked odd jobs to support herself and Sophia, waiting tables, selling some of her artwork at local craft fairs. She said she spent a lot of time painting, something she hadn't done much since Sophia was born. She showed me pictures on her phone of some of the pieces she created, and I had to admit, they were beautiful. There was a rawness and emotion in them that I hadn't seen in her work before. Janice said that during this time she did a lot of soul-searching. She realized that while she wasn't cut out for full-time motherhood, she did love Sophia and wanted to be part of her life. She talked about how guilty she felt for taking Sophia away from me, how she would watch our daughter sleep at night and cry, knowing she was keeping her from her father. I listened to everything Janice had to say, but I still couldn't shake my anger and distrust. I told her about the sleepless nights, the tears, the struggle to explain to our 4-year-old why Mommy was gone. I described how Sophia would wake up crying, asking for her mom, and how helpless I felt. I told her about the day Sophia started preschool, how I sat in the car afterward and cried because Janice wasn't there to share that milestone. I told her about Sophia's first dance recital, how she looked out into the audience afterward, clearly searching for her mom. I spoke about the birthdays, the holidays, all the moments that Janice had missed. Janice broke down crying, saying she knew she had messed up badly and that she would spend the rest of her life trying to make it right if I gave her the chance. She asked if she could see Sophia, even if it was just for a short, supervised visit. I was conflicted. Part of me wanted to protect Sophia from any more hurt, but another part wondered if I was being too harsh. I thought about how Sophia's face still lit up when she saw pictures of Janice, how she still asked about her mom sometimes. I told Janice I needed time to think about it, and that I would consult with a child psychologist before making any decisions. After our meeting, I reached out to a child psychologist recommended by Sophia's pediatrician. Dr. Anderson, the psychologist, spent a long time talking with me about the situation. She advised that while it's important for children to have relationships with both parents, reintroducing Janice into Sophia's life needed to be done carefully and gradually. Dr. Anderson suggested starting with short video calls, closely monitored to gauge Sophia's reactions. If those went well, we could progress to brief in-person visits, always supervised. She emphasized the importance of consistency, saying that if we decided to do this, Janice would need to commit to regular contact, not just when it was convenient for her. Following this advice, I've decided to allow Janice to have short, supervised visits with Sophia. We'll start with video calls twice a week, then progress to in-person visits if things go well. I've made it clear to Janice that this is a trial period and that Sophia's well-being comes first. I laid out strict ground rules for Janice. She's not to make promises to Sophia about the future. She's not to speak negatively about me or our current living situation. And most importantly, she's to be consistent. If she agrees to a call or visit, she needs to follow through, no matter what. Janice agreed to these terms and has also agreed to attend therapy to work through her issues. She understands that rebuilding trust will take time and that she needs to prove herself. She's given me the contact information for her therapist, so I can verify that she's actually attending sessions. I'm still struggling with my own feelings about the situation. While I want Sophia to have a relationship with her mother, I'm finding it hard to forgive Janice for what she did. Every time I look at Sophia, I remember the pain we went through when Janice left. I've decided to start seeing a therapist myself to work through these emotions. We had our first video call yesterday. I sat with Sophia, explaining that we were going to talk to Mommy on the computer. Sophia was excited, but also confused. When Janice's face appeared on the screen, Sophia's reaction was a mix of joy and uncertainty. She talked to Janice about her day at preschool and showed her a drawing she had made, but she also kept looking at me, as if for reassurance that this was okay. After the call, Sophia asked if Mommy was coming home. It broke my heart to tell her no, that Mommy has her own home now. I'm still not sure how to explain the situation to her in a way she can understand. This isn't an easy road, and I'm still not sure if I'm making the right decisions. But I'm trying to put Sophia's needs first, while also protecting her from potential hurt. I'll continue to take things one day at a time and adjust as needed. Thank you all for your support and advice. It's been incredibly helpful during this difficult time. Update 2. It's been a few months since my last update, and a lot has happened. I wanted to share how things have been going with the situation. The supervised visits between Janice and Sophia started as planned. We began with video calls twice a week, each lasting about 15 minutes. At first, Sophia was confused and a bit hesitant. She would ask me why Mommy was in the computer and not here with us. It was hard to explain, but I did my best to keep things simple and age-appropriate. After a few weeks of successful video calls, we moved to in-person visits. These were held at a neutral location, a local park, with me present the entire time. The first visit was awkward. Sophia clung to me and barely spoke to Janice. Janice tried her best, bringing Sophia's favorite books and toys, but Sophia was clearly uncomfortable. I remember watching Janice's face during that first visit. She looked heartbroken at Sophia's hesitation, and I could see her fighting back tears. Despite my lingering anger towards Janice, I felt a pang of sympathy in that moment. I could see how much she wanted to connect with Sophia, and how much it hurt her that Sophia was wary of her. As the visits continued, Sophia slowly began to warm up to Janice. She started looking forward to their time together, asking when she would see Mommy next. This was both a relief and a source of anxiety for me. I was glad Sophia was happy, but I couldn't shake the fear that Janice might disappear again. Janice has been consistent so far. She hasn't missed a single visit and always arrives on time. She's been respectful of the boundaries we've set and hasn't pushed for more than what we've agreed upon. She's also been attending therapy regularly, which was one of my conditions for these visits. However, about a month ago, an incident occurred that shook my trust again. Janice asked if she could take Sophia to get ice cream during one of their visits. I agreed, as long as I came along. While at the ice cream shop, Janice's phone rang. She stepped outside to take the call, leaving Sophia with me. She was gone for nearly 20 minutes. When she came back, I confronted her about it. Janice explained that it was her therapist calling about an emergency scheduling change, but I was upset that she had prioritized a phone call over her limited time with Sophia. It brought back all my fears and doubts about her commitment. We had a heated discussion after the visit. Janice apologized profusely, recognizing that she had made a mistake. She promised it wouldn't happen again and offered to show me her phone log to prove it was her therapist. I declined, telling her that trust is earned through actions, not explanations. This incident has made me reconsider the visitation arrangement. While I don't want to stop the visits entirely, I'm thinking about scaling back to shorter, more frequent visits, where Janice's attention is solely on Sophia. I've also decided to be more present during these visits, rather than giving them space. Sophia, meanwhile, continues to ask about when Mommy is coming to live with us again. It breaks my heart because I don't know how to explain that it's not going to happen. Janice and I have agreed to present a united front to Sophia, emphasizing that while we both love her, we won't be living together. Last week, Sophia had a meltdown after one of Janice's visits. She cried for hours, asking why Mommy couldn't stay, why she had to leave again. It took everything in me not to call Janice and tell her the visits were over. But I know that wouldn't be fair to Sophia in the long run. I'm still struggling with my own emotions. Seeing Janice and Sophia together brings up a mix of feelings. Happiness for Sophia, anger at Janice for leaving, fear of it happening again, and a lingering sadness for the family we once were. I've been continuing with my own therapy, which has been helpful in processing these complex emotions. My therapist has suggested that I try to find closure with Janice about our relationship. She thinks that my unresolved feelings might be affecting how I handle the current situation. I'm not sure I'm ready for that conversation yet, but I know it's something I'll need to address eventually. In the midst of all this, I'm trying to maintain some semblance of normalcy for Sophia. We've settled into a routine of preschool, playdates, and weekend activities. I've been making an effort to spend quality time with her, taking her to the zoo, baking cookies together, and reading her favorite stories at bedtime. Last weekend, we went to a father-daughter dance at Sophia's preschool. As I watched her twirl in her little princess dress, I felt a mix of joy and sadness. Joy at seeing her so happy, and sadness that Janice was missing these precious moments. I found myself wondering if I was doing the right thing by keeping Janice at arm's length, or if I was depriving Sophia of these experiences with her mother. As we move forward, I'm trying to keep Sophia's best interests at the forefront while also protecting her and myself from potential hurt. It's a delicate balance, and I'm not always sure if I'm getting it right, but I'm doing my best to navigate this complicated situation one day at a time. I'm grateful for the support of my family and friends through all of this. My sister has been an amazing aunt to Sophia, often stepping in to help when I need a break. My parents have been supportive, though they're not shy about expressing their anger towards Janice for what she did. For now, we'll continue with the supervised visits, but I'll be keeping a closer eye on things. I want to believe that Janice is committed to being a part of Sophia's life, but I can't ignore the nagging fear that she might leave again. All I can do is take it one day at a time and hope that whatever happens, Sophia will be okay. Update 3. It's been about 6 months since my last update, and I wanted to share some significant developments in our situation. The visitation arrangement with Janice has been going relatively smoothly. We've settled into a routine of 3 short visits per week, always supervised by me. Sophia has grown more comfortable with these visits and looks forward to seeing her mom. However, she still gets anxious when Janice leaves, often asking if Mommy will come back next time. About 2 months ago, Janice approached me with a request. She had been offered a job in our city and wanted to move back to be closer to Sophia. She asked if we could revisit our custody arrangement once she was settled. I was hesitant, but agreed to consider it once she had been back for a while and proved she was here to stay. Janice moved back last month. She found an apartment not far from us and continued with the regular visitation schedule. Sophia was excited to have her mom nearby and would often ask to call her between visits. At first, things seemed to be going well. Janice was punctual for visits, engaged with Sophia, and seemed to be making an effort to rebuild their relationship. However, last week, something happened that has made me question everything again. Janice was supposed to have a visit with Sophia on Saturday afternoon. She called that morning to ask if she could take Sophia to the zoo. I was unsure, but decided to give her a chance, agreeing on the condition that I would pick Sophia up from the zoo at a specific time. When I arrived at the agreed-upon time, Janice and Sophia weren't at the meeting spot. I called Janice repeatedly, but she didn't answer. I was frantic, imagining the worst. After an hour of searching and calling, I was about to contact the police when Janice finally called back. She apologized profusely, saying they had lost track of time and her phone had died. They showed up 30 minutes later, with Sophia excited about her day at the zoo, oblivious to my panic. I was furious. All the old fears and doubts came rushing back. I told Janice that she had violated my trust and that I wasn't comfortable with her having unsupervised time with Sophia anymore. Janice became defensive, accusing me of being overprotective and not allowing her to rebuild her relationship with Sophia. We had a heated argument in the zoo parking lot, with Sophia watching from the car. I regret that she had to witness that, but I couldn't contain my anger and fear in that moment. Janice left in tears, and I took Sophia home, trying my best to explain the situation to her in a way she could understand. Since then, Janice has been calling and texting constantly, alternating between apologizing and accusing me of keeping her from her daughter. Her family has also gotten involved, saying I'm being unreasonable and that Janice deserves another chance. Janice's mother, in particular, has been very vocal about the situation. She called me yesterday, pleading Janice's case. She reminded me of all the good times we had as a family, how Janice was as a mother before her depression hit. She suggested that maybe Janice's disappearance was a one-time mental health crisis, and that we should be more understanding. While I appreciate her concern for her daughter and granddaughter, I find it hard to simply forget what happened. Sophia has been asking about her mom more frequently since the zoo incident. She doesn't understand why she can't see her mom as often now. I've tried to explain in simple terms that Mommy broke a promise and needs to show she can keep promises before she can spend more time with Sophia. But it's hard to know if I'm handling this the right way. I'm at a loss. On one hand, I want Sophia to have a relationship with her mother. I remember how close they were before Janice's depression, how Janice would spend hours playing make-believe with Sophia or teaching her to paint. Those memories make me wonder if I'm depriving Sophia of a potentially wonderful relationship with her mom. On the other hand, I can't shake the fear that Janice might disappear again, or that her irresponsibility might put Sophia in danger. The incident at the zoo brought back all the pain and uncertainty from when Janice first left us. I keep thinking about how I felt during those months when Janice was gone, the sleepless nights, the constant worry. I don't want Sophia to ever have to go through that. I'm considering going back to court to formalize our custody arrangement. I think I want to push for continued, supervised visitation only, at least for now. But I'm worried about how this will affect Sophia in the long run. Will she resent me for keeping her from her mother? Or will she thank me for protecting her? I feel like I'm back at square one, torn between protecting my daughter and wondering if I'm letting my own hurt and fear dictate my decisions. I'm trying to remind myself that Sophia's well-being comes first, but it's hard to know what that looks like in this situation. For now, I've told Janice that we need to take a break from visits while I figure things out. Sophia has been asking about her mom, and it breaks my heart to see her confused and upset. I'm doing my best to support her through this, but I feel like I'm failing her no matter what I do. I'm not sure what the right path forward is, but I know I need to make some difficult decisions soon. I just hope that whatever I decide, it will be what's best for Sophia in the long run.